Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Zelp, and I know that today is the first working day for a lot of you guys because I have the stats. A lot of those that watch my videos are age 25 and above, and you're probably working. So hopefully it went well. Today we're not going to do anything too intensive. It's not like I'm going to show you some crazy mechanic where makes you want to hop back into Warframe and start grinding. Instead, I'm going to go through the comments. Now, do not look down at the comments because I've learned so much from the comments, and also from the comments I can tell like what are some of the questions that you guys have in mind. Maybe we can actually go through some things that you may not have thought of, or you just outright do not know. So let's start with Caesar2453. He or she says that since battle abilities are super rare to get, I think any farming video based around using those kind of becomes irrelevant to massive amount of players, and I agree. So maybe we'll try and do another farming video. I know I have like a few now. One slightly better than the other because I have a different ability. Like I made another one when I got the void hole. So yeah, maybe I'll make one where we don't use abilities at all. I'm not too sure if I can solo it, but we'll see. Panda Chan said, what does Overseer do and how do I make use of it? So if you are on the computer, what you have to do is when you press L to enter your tactical menu, you can actually press tab and have a view of your allies. So let's say they're in the Grenier platform and they're fighting, you can actually tap L and see the condition there and maybe even use abilities in there. So that is what Overseer do, is one of the tactical intrinsic perk. So in my last video I talked about how I miss with my Taiko Missile, and over here someone's actually trying to explain to me how to actually work it and allow yourself to lock on. So apparently you can lock on to the enemy. What you have to do is, I guess, point at the enemy until you see some kind of like triangle thing on the crosshair that turns from an X to a plus orientation. So thank you very much, as Kyle's Polakowati. This next one is actually not bad. It comes from RKRB. It says, do you think that the bonus damage for exactly Poulter is good build because it has 0 heat acceleration? And what I want to point out here is that it actually does not have 0 heat acceleration. It's actually more for the Zekti as well. It's just that it somehow doesn't display. Someone says because it's a beam weapon, it's bugged. So yeah, do take note of that. Don't be fooled by the heat acceleration being 0. It does have the heat acceleration.
Commander is a known war criminal, lives on Voby butter, and smells like a blown up men's room. Take him out. Leave an air freshener.
Boom Boom said that I had no idea this was a separate keybind. He's talking about the heavy attack. There is a separate keybind for the heavy attack with your melee. All you have to do is just go to the settings, look for your keybinds, and then scroll down. You actually see one that says heavy attack and put whatever keybind that you want into it. The reason why this is good is because until now I feel like a lot of people, especially the OGs, will probably do a heavy attack by holding down your melee attack button, but now you can actually just immediately use a heavy attack by clicking that button that you set. 635574 says that healing auras are so bad you can't see them from Railjack. I was once host and only could see and shoot them in Arcwing. And this is true. I actually have a crew going on where I was asking them to shoot the healing bubbles, but they just said that they couldn't see any. But I do think that being the host is more likely that you can see it, but others can't. Luke Finley says that the energy regeneration for Railjack is not a mystery. It works the same as in normal missions. Enemy killed, even fighters have a chance to drop energy orb on death. They just aren't easy to see from pilot's seat because they are so small compared to the size of the ship. Works for Arcwing or Railjack. Now this is not the first time someone actually said this to me, and I've tested it. It doesn't work. So the fact that I got this message a few times now, I feel like I have to deliver proof. So over here you're gonna see me in a railjack trying to get a energy orb, which I do not have max energy capacity. In fact, I even like spam a bunch just to make sure that I have even lower energy so that I can try and pick it up, but it just doesn't work. So unless you can explain this scene, stop. Now let's end with Johan Kalutz. It says that Vadar Cryo with 50% damage increment is better than the Zakti version. Now I wanted to do a video about this for the longest time, but I didn't because there are some issues which I cannot explain. So I'm gonna tell you what I think and show you why I didn't make that video. Also down he says that Rush Repair Drones is droppable in rare loot box in the Ville Proxima. I'm not that lucky to be able to find one, so hopefully you guys can reconfirm that statement. Let me know down in the comments. Right now we're just talking about like damage per bullet, okay, or per shot. So the plasma damage is 37, the chemical damage is 111. If I were to take 11 Carcinok over here, you can see that it's exactly the same. Plasma damage 37, chemical 111. Now, how do I know what does the 27.3% do to the weapon? Is that you can actually equip it, and when you do that, when you equip it, what will happen is that over here at the side, it tells you the stats now, that like when you have everything, all the bonus added up with your intrinsics or even with your avionics. So this is the damage that it does. So you can see 77.1 and 150.9. Now the problem is that is not an increment of 27.3%. You might be wondering that, oh, maybe I have a avionics or something that is causing it. So I just want to quickly show you guys that there is no damage avionics here. This is not right. Yep. And then as far as intrinsics, I don't think there is any as well at my current intrinsic. So another way that I can prove to you that it has nothing to do with that is that if I were to take, let's say, a pulsar, right, and I were to check, it's 10 and 30 plasma, 10 plasma and 30 ionic damage. If I were to equip it, you can see over here at the side, it's 10 and 30. So there's no increment due to anything else other than the weapon itself. So now if I were to equip back, where did it go? There you go. And try to make sense out of what is happening over here, it just doesn't make sense. Now if you look at the values for plasma from 37 to 77.1, it's almost like 100% jump. And if you look at chemical from 111 to 150, yeah, that's about, you know, almost like a 30% jump. But still, it is not accurate. So if you can forget about how the value is being increased, which is something a little bit hard for me to do, you can still check. All you have to do is just look at what it increased into. So like for example, the plasma 77.1 and chemical 150.9, and then you go over to the Zakti version and then you tap it so they can look at his stats, and it's 55 for plasma, chemical is 167. So in that sense, you can compare and say, oh, which one is better. But of course, take note that this is only based on the damage value per shot, and there's a lot of other factors involved. So at the end of the day, what is best for you and your playstyle also will depend on all those other stats. Like for example, if status is an issue, then you might want to go for the Zakti version. In my opinion, for something that shoots as fast as the Carcinok, it has to have some kind of low heat acceleration. Otherwise, it's just not worth using because you spend too much time trying to control or manage your heat capacity, which also boils down to you losing more DPS. So sadly, I cannot show you the difference between a Vadar Cryo and a Zakti version because I don't have a good Vadar Cryo crafted. Mine that I currently have is like less than 30% if I'm not mistaken. So that's why I'm not going to showcase that and I'm not going to talk about it. But you can see the reason why I kind of avoided this topic and did not make a video of it, even though it was in my mind, simply because the amount they increase just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I hope this is somewhat interesting and that you guys have a great first day at work. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.